So we are now moving on from our perspective, looking at the sun in gateway number 48. And gate 48 is in what we call the spleen center looking out for our physical health and well-being. And these next 6 more gateways that we get to look at are all going to be in this spleen center. So it's really a time to be aware of our health and well-being. The spleen relates very much to our lymph system, the immune system in the body. We might say it's like the internal laundry system, keeping things fresh and healthy. So each of these gateways now, after gateway number 46, where we had a change in the season, the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere, the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere, where the sun was right over the equator in our terms. So gate 48, the well, the water source, let's have a look, see what goes on there. We're in the spleen center, that's the little brown triangle center right at the top of the page here. And we're going to get to see now where the 48 sits in the wheel. It's in the top right-hand side there. And we see the potential channel here is with gateway number 16, which is, of course, one of the throat gateways, one of the voices. It's the voice of enthusiasm or interest in things. And so the 48 is the well that can provide things of interest to us. And it's also a continuation of gateway number 18. Gateway 18 was all about improving things on Earth, improving things in the systems that we use in life, not necessarily about self-improvement. It's about the things that we get to work with, the things that we apply ourselves towards. And so the 48 is this continuation after the gate 18 into what we call the well, the water source. And here are some keywords that go with the well: freshness and depth. And we can expand this into knowledge. Replenishment comes through establishing and re-establishing access to the unending source of knowledge. So we know the I Ching, it's a Chinese phenomenon. And much of the Chinese language relates very much to pictures and imagery. And so how does the well have to do anything with knowledge? So we would know about a well. It's the essential thing. Water is the essential thing for life to exist on this planet. And a well is where, in olden times, we would go to get that water. Many parts of the world still, everyone goes to the well. And the whole thing is, while you're at the well and you're waiting your turn to be able to draw water out of the well, you're having a chit-chat. You're talking with the people also there. What's the news? What's going on over here? What's interesting here? Have you heard? And so there's a great exchange of information, an exchange of knowledge. And of course, depending on which well you go to, there's going to be a different group of people there and different news, different knowledge, different things of interest. And so the 48 is all about this, the source of knowledge. Where do we go to get knowledge and how do we use it? Is it knowledge that sustains us? Is it knowledge that can bring about a sense of improvement in our life? Is it knowledge that's worth sharing with other people? And so again, then we look at the well. Okay, there are 6 lines in the well. There's 6 different levels of water that we can, drop the bucket in and pull out the freshness or pull out the resource there. So it's a very versatile gateway, this, the 48. And you can see with the 16 on the other end, the 16 is interesting. Is this a piece of knowledge that's interesting for me or not? Is this something worth caring about or not? And so we're going to see, as we go through the various lines, the different characteristics of the well and the source of knowledge. To remember always, this is a collective gateway. It's not personal. It's just about knowledge that we share, libraries, places where manuscripts are kept, Google. It's all basically accessing knowledge, accessing things of potential interest to us, collective. So the possibility for civilization on Earth exists as we access, share, and utilize knowledge that comes from a natural source. Right? All knowledge can be traced back to a natural source. The well, the source of water, is the essential fresh flowing sustenance for all life. Keeps us interested. What's the latest? What's the greatest? And here, because it's in the spleen center, and each of the gateways in the spleen center has a particular sense to it, this is a sense of taste. Basically, does something when you put it on your mouth, does it taste good? When you walk into a room, is the environment tasteful? And so part of this journey through the spleen center is all about checking out, am I living in tasteful circumstances? Is my knowledge base up to date? Or perhaps I'm getting a little bit bored with it. Maybe I should go to a different well. Maybe I should put my attention on something different. Maybe there's something more interesting if I look somewhere else, if I start engaging with a different crowd, if I start looking for things that really resonate well with me. So yes, the quantity of knowledge, we're in the information age, or maybe we're past the information age now. There is so much knowledge out there. And the whole thing is, what is it that resonates with us? And so all of us in our designs will see if we have the center defined or undefined, there's a whole difference about whether that 48 is something that's essential to us or something of a source of wisdom that we impart into the lives of other people. So let's have a look through the lines. So 6 lines, we're going to look at lines 1 to 3 first. They lay the foundation for this particular hexagram. Remember, whenever you're in a first line situation, you look at the foundation of what is this hexagram, what is this gateway all about? And the first line here is finding significance. Quick recognition, quick, it's splenic, instantaneous, quick recognition of relevance or irrelevance in life. Right? You see something, it catches your attention. Okay, you'll look into it a little bit further. You're standing next to somebody at the well, they've got a great story to tell, you're going to listen to it. But if you keep hearing the same old stuff all the time, it's like maybe not so interesting. You're involved in a work in your life and it's like getting a bit of a drudgery. You know, you want some fresh pastures, green grass over the other side of the hedge. You know, that's what the 48 is all about, is to determine relevance or relevance in this moment in time. Is this really holding my attention? You either adjust to each fresh moment or find life distasteful and become distracted. Right? You know, when you're really engaged in something and really focused on it, it's easy. It's like it's engaging, it's fresh, it's interesting, holds your attention. But if it starts turning into a little bit dull, you know, relevance, why am I doing this? Then it's very easy to want to put one's attention somewhere else. And here the moon gives it a placement. You have a natural attunement with all manner of gifts that life brings to you. Like, bring it on, bring it on. Oh, wow, amazing. Wow, life is so full of wonderful, amazing things. First lines have a lot of awe, AWE, around them. Wow, this is amazing. Life's amazing. Life's a miracle. And so, you know, the 48 with the first line can constantly have this expansive view. Whatever next? What else is life able to show me? With Mars here, a kind of slightly pushy nature, making problems out of nothing, you'll find it hard to be satisfied with life's simple pleasures. Right? Simple pleasures in life. Life can be a very, very simple affair. We have a tendency to make things really complicated by trying to maneuver things, manufacture things. And yes, a lot of things are very amazing, but if they're not holding our attention, the 48 is saying, maybe put your attention on something different. The second line, this natural approach to life, has the quality of deterioration. The need to constantly refresh your gifts. So second line can just get stuck in a, oh, that's all I need to do here. That's all I need to know. I don't need to expand my sight or vision anywhere else. I'll just stay with the same old, same old. And then things start getting dull. Your talents deteriorate when ignored or if you are distracted by comparing yourself to others. So the whole channel of 1648 is the channel of talent. 48 applies the interest. The 16 is selective in picking out what it is that's really interesting. And together they make up this channel of talent where the gifts are honed and advanced. And here the second line is saying, if you don't keep refreshing your gifts, sooner or later they'll just start going down and down and down, and you won't be able to use them anymore. So here Pluto is very direct. You refine your abilities by growing in and around the challenges that life brings. All of us face challenges. And the challenge, particularly with the 48 with the second line here, is to keep upgrading. Maybe it's not going anywhere. Is it still holding my interest? Well, yes, at the core of things, it's holding my interest, but it seems such a hard job making it continue to be able to keep going with it. There's so many things that want to put me off. And so the real challenge for the 48 with the second line is keep going, maintain your interest, do not get distracted, and certainly don't start comparing your own gifts to other people's. Everybody's got unique gifts. That's the most important thing to understand. We each have our own very unique gifts in life. And the 48 with the second line says, look, find those gifts and go deep with them. With Venus here, you're being careless in practicing your gifts when you are distracted by the company you keep. You kind of slough off, well, I'm not really good at this, I'm not really good at that, I don't have these gifts, I don't have this special quality. I just want to fit in. And Venus has a lot to do with that, like, bringing about harmony in the company one keeps. And so the second line is a particularly strong one, is to keep pulling fresh water out of the well, keep the interest level up, keep the expansion going. The third line here, third lines always have this commitment issue. Am I going to get involved or not? Is this something where I really want to go deep into something or not? And the line here is called acknowledging, trusting in your evolving gifts, right? These are gifts that the more you practice, the more you indulge, the more you get out of it, the more your gifts increase. Sooner or later, you're appreciated for your talents and abilities if you trust and persevere. The tricky thing for the third line is to persevere. Oh, I've been there, done that. It didn't really get me anything. And moving on to something else. And the whole thing about talent, and at least engaging with the whole stream of talent through Gate 48, is to keep on building on the gifts that you have, to keep on expanding your knowledge base, expanding your practice. Here with the moon's placement, you have the endurance to stay true to your gifts so that they are appreciated by one or all and all. So you have that ability to recognize, okay, I'm really going to stay with this. Everything has a cycle. Cycles of ease, cycles of difficulty, but I'm going to maintain and persevere with this. Third lines always have that breakthrough potential. They always have that innovative, pioneering potential to go into things and find access to things that other people can't find. The Mercury side of things, perhaps the tendency to overthink things a little bit here, being fearful and worried that you may be overlooked can contribute to being overlooked, right? That one gets so distracted in whatever might happen. Oh, and I've been completely passed by. Like all the energy goes into, do they notice me or not? Can I be seen for what I'm doing here? Can I be seen for my gifts? The 48 has this wellspring of gifts that want to come through us and want to be expressed here. So while the sun is going through this particular gateway, we will all see we have the potential to re-enhance those gifts that we know that we have and to bring them out to play again. Then we come to the fourth line, and fourth line has this quality of wanting to engage, bring everybody in, and let's all be involved in this. So the line is called refreshing. All your gifts benefit from regular re-evaluation and refinement. It's just to see, okay, I have this influential effect. Do the people I influence or the situations in which I can have the greatest potential, are they up to date? Am I drawing from a fresh source of knowledge? Am I still really interested in things that I do? I don't know whether it's been your experience or not, but you might have been in a school where a class was taught as the same class every year. Just the people in the classroom change, except the teacher. Teachers doing the same thing, year after year after year. And this is the thing about the fourth line, is like sooner or later, everyone's going to find out, wow, this is really boring. There's nothing new being put out. There's nothing fresh about it. It's just stale old stuff. And, where's the interest level in that? Life moves on. Patterns change. It's not to throw everything away, but it's just to see. The fourth line constantly needs to see, all right, I'm going to be influential. Let's be influential with the latest and greatest input here. And here it says, in rest, refreshment, and re-evaluation, your inner depth and clarity are explored and expanded. So the fourth line here can do itself a great favor by just having a look, see, am I up to date with what I'm doing here, right? I'm born to be influential. The fourth line is an influential thing. It's about passing forward knowledge and spreading stories that could be really, really handy for everybody else. You put your own life in order as a priority, right? What is it that I'm putting out here? What am I expounding here? Ready for openings to extend into others' lives, right? It's just about staying current, up to date. What's the latest? And here the Earth says you tend to over-identify with projects that exhaust you when they hit snags. You know that sensation? You get into something and all of a sudden it's not going anywhere. Oh my goodness, it's just too much to deal with here. And then, just so focused in on the project that you forget, it's got to go somewhere. It's got to move into some other form or shape. Very important thing to realize about the 48. It's collective. It's about the systems that we employ in life. It's about the knowledge that we share as a general sharing. It's about viewpoints. It's about opinions. It's about all these different things that are collective in nature. And the difficulty here is over-identifying with the knowledge rather than being the person who has the knowing. The fifth line. Fifth lines always have this leadership, teacher quality about them, and the line is called utilizing. Recognizing that you have many gifts, right? That's going to be a quality of the fifth line here, many gifts, but also the need to apply them. We've all heard of these instances. Oh, so-and-so is so great at the piano, but he never plays these days, right? Or, so-and-so, they just really in love to do this when they were a kid, but somehow or other they just dropped it. And the fifth line says, look, pick out the gifts that really work for you and go into them. The nature of the 48 is realizing we have the gifts, but then also seeing that we need to have the resources to be able to enhance these gifts so that we can spend our time practicing. Right? So all of us have to be really aware of this, that the gifts, they wither away if they don't get used, if they don't get played with. And you can come to a later point in life and realizing, wow, I just loved this when I was a kid and I got into this and that and the other and just had to drop all this. It was extraneous, but now I wish I'd followed through on it because it brings so much joy into my life. Utilizing your gifts towards great benefits requires that you remain clear to each moment. So here's the bottom line with anything in the spleen center. It's always present tense. So there's no room for regrets here at all. This is about, we're always beginning right now. And the 48 is, okay, what's my appreciation of the knowledge base or the things that are drawing my attention in this moment right now? Yes, I put all my attention into other things in times past. What is it that's really important to me now? And here with the Mars side of things, by savoring each moment, each precious moment, you appreciate the gifts that most easily benefit everyone. You just watch, you're aware, the spleen center is an awareness center, and this is all about taste. You get this instant sensation of, is this taste in this environment? Is it tasteful? Is it fitting in this particular environment at this moment in time? And so the 48 is all about, yes, appreciating the gifts, and are these gifts really being played out to the max in this particular situation? And the moon gives it a slightly moody flavor. If you question your own gifts and adopt others' ways, you'll be unfulfilled by your deeds. I'm sure all of us, we paid attention in school, if this problem comes up in your life, this is how you deal with it, or we go to a seminar or something or other and so saying, here's how you do this properly. And you kind of get involved in it, but, you find really doesn't quite mesh with how the authentic presentation comes through me. It might be very catchy, it might get a lot of attention, but I don't feel that freshness. I don't feel that aliveness when I'm engaging in this. And so, there's 1.5 million techniques of how to do everything in life. But in the end, it all comes back to us as an individual to find our own self-confidence and our own engagement, our own frequency. Who and what in life is calling to us? And so, very important that we all engage with our gifts. What are we good at? What do we love to do? What brings us that sense of freshness and depth and engagement? And that's what the 48 is all about. Fifth line can very easily get distracted into sorting out other people's issues. Oh, let me help you out with this. Rather than recognizing, it's very important that I come from an authentic place of using my own gifts. And all of us know when we're in the zone with something or other, something that comes as a pure source through us. And that's what the 48 is all about in the end. We are the source of our gifts if we allow and open up for them to come through us. We get to the sixth line here, and the sixth line is called replenishing. Fulfillment. What else are we going for in life? Fulfillment comes through sharing from an overflowing source. This is what I call the artesian well. The knowledge base is so substantial that the water just comes gushing out. It's like I've got so much to share, so many different things, so many talents and gifts to be offered into the world. Great fulfillment comes from the openness to share one's extensive gifts with others. Great fulfillment comes from that. Isn't it amazing when we have an audience or a group of people or a situation or a blog or TikTok watchers or whoever it is that just love what we put out, whatever it might be. We may change subject every day of the week. And there it is. That's the nature of the sixth line. So, the 48 for these days where the sun is shining through the 48 is just really say to us, re-examine your gifts. What are you all about here? What is it that wants to come out and be expressed here? Where is that freshness? And we can always find the freshness. Just have to look around and get to it. Here, Venus gives it harmonizing your world through sharing your source of understandings and talents. Right? We're in the collective circuitry. It's all about sharing understandings, viewpoints, potentials. And the Venus side of things, it makes for a very easy world when everybody's on the page, everybody's up to date, everyone's got the latest news. Hey, have you heard about this? This is the really fresh source of things. And we can see as the media in the world gets kind of more and more radical and more politicized or religiousized or whatever it is, dogmatized. It's very important for us to be able to pick and choose what is it that really relates to us. Where do we find our fulfillment? What is the news that really does it for us, that resonates deeply within us and brings us that sense of joy? The moon side of things, moodiness and uncertainty can cause you to be coaxed by other people to share your gifts. So you'll just see there's no losing line here with the sixth line. It's just to say, sometimes, you don't want to share your gifts, you don't want to be involved. Six lines can be a little bit aloof. But you'll just say, okay, I'll give into this. Yes, I'll perform for you. Yes, I'll play. Yes, I'll do my stand-up. Yes, I'll do my thing. And then just to see, oh my goodness, was that so hard to bring these gifts out? Was it okay to let people draw these things from me, to bring out these qualities that I have naturally in my life? And so, the 48 can be held back, can be private, can be restricted in some ways or other. Need to know only basis. I'm not going to share my gifts with you. But to say in the end, this is how humanity gets along. If we go right back to where we were with the commentary, the possibility for civilization on Earth exists as we access, share, and utilize knowledge that comes from a natural source. So there we are. That's the wrap up for the 48. And we'll see you again soon as we go into gateway number 57. And 57 is one of those doubles of trigrams in human design and in the I Ching.